Following the star, a story of the Magi. Far to the east, in a land of scholars and stargazers, there lived men who had devoted their lives to studying the heavens. They were called Magi, wise men skilled in interpreting the movements of stars and planets. Their hearts were also tuned to prophecy, for their people had preserved the ancient writings of Daniel and the seers who had foretold the coming of a great king. One night, while observing the stars, they saw a light unlike any other. It rose steadily in the eastern sky, and its brilliance was not like that of ordinary stars. It moved as though alive, guiding their eyes and hearts towards something far beyond ordinary understanding. "We have seen his star in the east," one of them whispered, recalling the ancient prophecies that spoke of a king born in Judea. They did not know the details, but their spirits recognized that God was at work in a way the world had never seen. The Magi prepared for a long journey. They gathered gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, treasures worthy of a king, of God, and of one who would suffer for the sake of humanity. They mounted their camels and traveled westward, crossing deserts and mountains, following the star that went before them. Nights were bitter and days scorching, yet the light above sustained them, unwavering in its guidance. When they reached Jerusalem, the heart of Judea, the city, bustled with life, yet none seemed aware of the child they sought. They entered the palace of Herod the king and humbly asked, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." Matthew 2:2. Herod's face grew pale, and he summoned the chief priests and scribes. They told him, quoting the prophet, "And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Matthew 2:5-6, Micah 5:2. Though Herod listened, he did not see the star. He could not perceive the divine light. He plotted secretly, seeking to destroy the child. But God's plan was far greater. The Magi continued their journey, guided once again by the star, which appeared and led them to a house in Bethlehem, not a stable, where the young child now dwelled. Matthew 2:9-11. There, in the quiet of a humble home, they fell before Jesus. He was no longer a newborn, but a child, radiant in ways that no ordinary eye could measure. They offered their gifts: gold for his kingship, frankincense for his divinity, and myrrh for the suffering that lay ahead. Matthew 2:11. In that moment, their hearts understood the fullness of his identity. He was King, God, and Redeemer. As they prepared to leave, God spoke to them in a dream, warning them not to return to Herod. They obeyed and departed home by another route, carrying the joy of salvation and the wonder of the Messiah with them. Matthew 2:12. Christology and gospel message in the story. 1. Jesus as King, even Gentiles recognize his authority, showing his universal kingship. Matthew 2:2. 2. Jesus as God. Their worship and gifts reveal his divine nature. Matthew 2:11. 3. Jesus as suffering Savior. Myrrh anticipates his humanity and sacrifice. Matthew 2:11. 4. Divine guidance and revelation. The star shows God reveals his truth to seekers, not to the proud or politically powerful. Matthew 2:9-5. Salvation for all nations. The Magi symbolize that God's salvation extends beyond Israel. Isaiah 63. The story reminds us that Christ is the light of the world, guiding all who earnestly seek him. Those who humble themselves and respond in faith will find the Savior, even when the proud and powerful cannot perceive him.